university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed a quality education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pru Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers and employees globally and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pru Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
Welcome back from the break. Quite a longer one. Gone by was sports and men's sport. Us to have a sit-down conversation, just like we told you from the beginning of the show. Last week, I had a conversation with this gentleman that has to do with starting a business, James Bedema, and along the line, the focus of the conversation was about starting. How to start? How do you start? What do you start with? And where do you start? All the W questions that you can think about, and is what we're asking the last time he was here last week. And we're going to have another conversation, but of course we're going to probably go back and have a little conversation or recap of what we did last week, and then venture into other areas with respect to, after starting, what are the things you need to put in place? Going to GRA, going to setting up a logo, a brand, what the kind of things you want to do, the business plan model that you're going to have, how to target your market audience and all those things. How do you do all that is the conversation we're going to have today with the man James Bedema. He is the president of Psych Aid Ghana, CEO of Seller Impression, and partner at Globe Productions. He has an MA in development communications as well, and he's the man joining us this morning for that conversation. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning and your listeners.
But before we start off with you, there's this quick birthday shout outs that we need to do real quick. So if you're ready with that.
Okay, I think I'm ready with that. And then it's just a woman that I know, and she's Mama Oye. We affectionately call her Mama Oye. So today's your birthday, your blessed birthday to you, wherever you are. Good morning. This is for me, from your family as well, and from Mr. and Mrs. Anchor as well. On behalf of them, we say a blessed birthday to you, and God bless you so much in all your endeavors. Right.
All right. Okay, so let's kick the ball rolling. Mr. Bedema, welcome once again.
Thank you.
All right. So last week we started off by but the topic was starting a business, and the conversation was all about how to start. Do you need that business development plan? And how do you start off? The kind of things you need. And you were all like, start, no matter what. Don't even rely on the documentations and all that. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about last week. How do you even start?
All right, I started by saying that how to start is to start. You don't have to wait.
Yeah. And you mentioned certain things, the purpose and the passion.
Yeah.
So please explain those ones as well.
You just start because you can't wait. There is no great time to start like now. Because if you want to park your car, what do? You take your key, you move towards the car, and you spark.
But before that, some experts say you should check your tires.
But before that, you plan. Starting does not mean that starting doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan. You should plan. But a lot of us have been planning for the past 10 years. Some even have gone into the grave with their plans. So I don't want to hold you hostage. I don't want the paperwork to hold you hostage. I don't want waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. So start. Do all the checks, do all the balances, do all the background checks, and start. Okay, we're talking about following your passion and then following your purpose. And I was like, purpose is good. Passion is good, but you must have a greater vision beyond yourself, and that is purpose. Passion is you, is you. I have the passion to take care of the help who need help. I want to help them. That's my passion. So I want to be around them every day and help them. So it is singular. It is you and your passion. But you should be able to move it to a different level whereby you will see that it is now purpose in life is to help the needy. By so doing, when you are in bed and your feet are hurting, your back aches and you are tired, you can't wake up and it's about myself. Oh, I want to help the needy, but I'm tired today. That can hold you down. But when you say no, my purpose is to wake up and go out there and save lives. Some old lady at the ward, the one who doesn't have a bed and she's lying on the floor, she needs me because she's counting on me. Society needs me. A woman in labor needs me. Let me wake up and go.
So that purpose that will push
that
you
purpose is greater, because we live in a society where everybody is religious. Everybody, Christianity, Islam, African, we have to give that religious dimension, that purpose, the God factor. That is the purpose, which is greater.
So the purpose comes from God.
The purpose comes from
it
comes from you, but you give it to God. It is you who are attributing it to the higher being, a being above you, which could be, say, society. My purpose in society. But a religious person will say, my God gave me that purpose.
For God and country.
For God and country. You see. And nationalistic will say a country. That is an increment. You just patriotic, yeah, say a country. The country needs me. I need to go and defend the borders this morning because the terrorists will attack. Yeah, so you give it the higher version. Yeah.
But on the other side of things, and as much as you don't advocate for the paperwork and all that, citing an example like somebody waiting for a whole 10 years to even put paperwork together. Don't you think, dependent on the kind of job you want to venture into, there's a need for some paperwork to be done? Because I started an example before we started the show that a Makola woman who is sitting at the place selling tomatoes who don't need paperwork.
Exactly.
And she doesn't need any kind of branding.
Exactly.
Unless, of course, maybe her child who has been to school sees something different about the business that he wants to reorient the entire business or diversify it. So you say, oh man, let's do some logo branding for your tomatoes. Let's put it this way. Let's package it this way and start selling to this kind of target audience rather. That is where maybe that will come in. But not really. You can just get a space, set up, put a pan or something there, start selling.
I like that.
So don't you think there are certain ranges of people that would necessarily need documentation?
like
others would just
and adding to that, you kept saying stats, but you have to do the background check. So if the background check is not the documentation, then what check are we doing?
The background check is this. It's interesting. I'll go with that after this. Let me answer his, and I'll go back to the background check. Okay. The stats. Every business needs a logo. Every business needs a form of brand. Your brand, even, you see, the brand goes beyond the logo. It's even where you are placed. Somebody will come, lads, go to the market, go to the woman behind the Mokola market, the one just by the Kelewele seller. It is zooming to that unique brand. That is the one behind the Kelewele seller on the shirt and this. Your logo could be a building. It could be some people put building on their logos. Somebody's logo could be the unique kiosk that he owns, can put it on his. So that is the brand. So everybody needs a logo. Everybody needs. But what I want to say is that business. Let me put in this quickly. You can rate business into 3 levels: low level, medium level, and high level. Talking of low level, medium level, and high level, it's about level of investment. If your investment, your startup capital is about 200 Ghana cedi, obviously your logo will consume all. So you don't need to wait. You need to start. You see, but if your investment is about $20 million, you need to take the time off, go through all those procedures, get everything right to the level of which you even get an environmental assessment. If it is a factory, to get everything right before you start, because you have the money. By you having the money, you can go through that process faster. You can hire a consultant. You can get an aide to help you through the process. But a sole proprietorship, one own desktop, university graduate, somebody who has just been sacked from his company, or somebody who has just resigned, someone who has, you don't need that. You need to gradually take off. And when you take off, you take cognizance of all those steps you have to go. So you gradually do the logo, you gradually do what you have to do. There is one thing that people, mistakes. I want to say it here and there that mistakes should be highly embraced as a startup, because your investment is low, so you learn from your mistakes, and that is an opportunity most businesses, those that are started with big capital and collapse. You start slow, you start small, you do your mistakes, you learn, you go through the learning curve. That learning curve is so important. In most books, you will not find that learning curve in any book.
Now look at Polans. He said that the poetry synonyms in the church, simply to put, mean that the one who is advancing the cause can't see what is behind, whether he's on a straight path or in a curved path. Is there a point that even before you start, you need somebody as a mentor and somebody to guide you? Because the mistakes, as you're mentioning, I might not be able to cite the mistakes when they come, because I'm also very new to that space. Do I need to go have a consultant sort of, or something like that? The person, I'll be able to take off on a good note.
Great. Last time I talked about apprenticeship, which is apprenticeship offers you opportunity to learn the trade secrets. Apprenticeship. I want to be a radio host, a TV show host. I will come here as a mentor, only to be the secret of the trade, what happens behind the scenes. And most often, if I want to be a true apprentice, I come to your house in the morning, then we come together. By so doing, I have the first hand to see when driving in and when you get in, how you prepare. Not that I'm an apprentice, you start work at 8 and I'm here at 1 minute to 8. It means I'm on time. No, I have to be here 6:30 to observe and to offer myself, so that I learn what happens behind the camera, what happens outside, in and out. So apprenticeship is key. It is a real opportunity to learn the trade secret faster.
So in effect, are you saying that, say I want to become a radio presenter, and I chanced upon Diego, he's been in the industry for a while, because I want to do that, I should start following him before I can be able to?
I have to prepare myself. I might have gone through all the education, training, all that. I might have gone through, prepare. I might have been watching him on TV, not only him, but other people, and I've admired the act. I have learned all that I'm supposed to learn behind the scenes from where I sit. Now, it goes beyond having a good TV. I want to do this. I can speak fluent English. I have been to Harvard and Yale and all that.
So do you necessarily have to come in contact with the person, with Diego as an example that we used? Do you necessarily have to come in contact with the person? Because
we cannot. I think there's something called remote learning. There's something called remote learning. You don't necessarily need to be close to the person before you be able to learn. Just about observation is another way of learning. So by just watching from afar, the kind of things he does and all that. So I'm not supposed to be answering questions. It's supposed to be asking.
Great. But I think I said that in another way, that you have observed, have followed him and others. Probably he's local, somebody's international, somebody's doing bilingual. So I have watched a lot from remotely. You've done all that. So you think you are ready, and indeed you may be ready, but you also need to have a first hand of what happens in-house, so that the very first day you be given the job, and then you come online, you realize, oh, they have 3 cameras, which one should I look into? You don't know how to swing, you don't even know how to even respond whilst you are talking, whilst someone is talking to you on the console. You get confused. So you need to come down and learn certain trade secret. It may be how not to even frown, how not you may be perfect, you are good, you've learned, you've observed, you've listened to audios. Yesterday I was talking to a guy and he said he's taking part in some class online with Hollywood, and he's learning how to act on Hollywood. He's done all their courses, so he's good to go. But there are environmental differences. But there's also a question she posed about research. And research is key, but I also want to come down to the level of research. There's a level of research which is also so interesting that we don't do, and that is beyond giving somebody the right to go and do a document and bring. It's called brainstorming. Brainstorming is a way of research. Depends on how you do it. You are with your 3 friends, 20 friends in an office. You gather 2 up and say, Charlie, don't do this gobe thing. We should start branding gobe. What you saying? The fellow say, oh God, but Charlie, go back. You are brainstorming. Somebody bring his idea. Oh, but Charlie, if you do put in, it will be too. We find another way, because the way you want brand them, it could be too expensive. So you begin to realize that the brainstorming, it gives you a very good opportunity in different environments, which is cost effective in terms of putting money on it. Time wealth also very good. So research is good. Research must be done, but there are different levels of research, because if you are going to put $20 million investment proposal, you can't go and talk to your stakeholders that I brainstormed with Kojo and I'm at my office and this one said this, one said this. What is the data to prove it? To ask of the data. So depending on the level of investment, depending on how deep you go, you can start, as we said, by brainstorming. By going forward, you do a detailed proposal, is key. That is,
let's use an example of an artisanal kind of job. Let's say a fashion designer. What kind of research am I supposed to do before I start going for learning how to start sewing and all those things? What kind of research do I need? Or that part wouldn't necessarily need.
The starting artisanal, like you want to sew, that starts with the interest.
Okay.
That starts with the interest. The starting point is the interest. But when after the interest high level, so I like the way fashion is. I want to go into fashion. I want to do this. I believe that is the way to go. So once you develop the interest, you go for training.
Oh, so you have to have the interest before the skill. I always thought that you should have the skill to push you to have passion.
The skill, there are two types of skill. There are inborn skill and there's acquired skill.
Okay.
You understand? The one who has the in-house skill, what we call the talent, he has a good startup to take off.
Okay.
But that skill, when not polished, you take off but you have limit. It's just like you're good, you're a sprinter, you have long legs, you can run. Same boat. But without training, you will rust.
Okay.
So the talent is good, but somebody who doesn't have the talent can acquire. After acquiring, he gets a good aid, he becomes unique. For example, I learned that Zero wastes almost
just about to mention his name.
He wastes more than 3 hours on how to take free kick. It didn't just come easy. He mastered the art. And Messi has the flair. He does it intuitively. You understand?
Naturally.
It comes naturally.
One person spends more time learning, doing more work. The other person, it's just something that is within inborn, sort of.
But depending on your level of commitment, you can be up to the task of the best in the market. You see, and there's also this. You shouldn't forget. That's not for today, but another time we can explore that partnership and acquiring skills. You hire somebody who is better than you to match the business. So I have the passion, I have the interest, I have the money, I have started a business. Now I realize that no, I need somebody who is good. And when I look into the market, the best people in dressmaking come from either Senegal or Togo. So why won't I go to Senegal or Togo, acquire those best guys to come and help to support the business?
Right. You kept mentioning about mistakes. That is a good thing when you start your business. So once I face this challenge, I lose the capital that I invested into my business. Do I switch to another one, or I keep moving once I've lost everything?
The biggest asset successful people have that the unsuccessful people do not have is learning from their mistakes. The successful person knows that I learn from my mistakes. So every mistake he makes, he documents and learn from it and move on. Sometimes the mistakes are costly. I don't want to go international. Even Ghana here, there are a lot of mistakes. Zain, remember Zain? When Zain came, they were selling the SIM cards in the market. And there's a particular person, a very popular person in Ghana, I don't want to mention the name, and I don't want to mention the brand. There was another company, the competitor, went and bought all the SIM cards and hit. And Zain, realizing that we've sold 1 million, we are advertising 1 million, but the calls are not up to 1 million. We have activation is not 1 million. The network, what is happening? So they realized that no, our entry point was wrong. So what did they do? They went back and registered people. So you don't back up, because looking at the level of investment, political damage it does to you, you don't go back.
No, maybe you realize that this is not your fitting. Like you can't.
Yeah, as much as you could explore and do better, but you realize that
if the capital investment is great, you sell it off. Go to just sell it off. They were not doing well. They have to sell it off for somebody else to come in, or you step back and bring someone else in. The year you branch into the other field, so that eventually that becomes your addition.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. So you don't back up. You stand back. Maybe your managerial skills was bad. Maybe you not doing your research, where you didn't understand the business as you're coming forward. So you give it to somebody else to manage. Well, you see, some people, let's accept this. Some people are just good at criticizing and directing than they themselves being on the job.
Yeah.
They are so poor on the job. But they are very good at keeping that pressure. You know, that comes to leadership. There are different types of leaders. Some people are born leaders. The born leaders don't need direction. When you are with them in a team, they drive the team. And they always, when you give them the but they know how to drive you to achieve the goal. That's the goal. People know how to drive followers to achieve the goal. But they themselves, given the task, they cannot. And some, no matter what you do, when you give them the leadership, they cannot. On the job. That is another branch we could handle another time. So it comes there and there. You don't give up.
Okay.
As an entrepreneur, there's a story book I read. It's a novel. This Macbeth. Shakespeare. And she said, "What if you Macbeth asked him, what if you fail?" He said, "When we fail, we fail. So hold glue to it so that you will not fail." When you're starting a business with that attitude, that comes to attitude. Yeah. When you're starting that business with attitude of a leadership, of winning, you will win. Let's take this. There are 3 guys. There's a line drawn to start a 100-meter race. We all come with optimism. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. One said, "No, I am with 3 top guys. These guys are good, but I will make sure that I would win." The other one also comes on the drawing board. These 3 are good, but this one is fat. He can't start fast. So let me start fast and slow at the end. At the end, this one also hits me hard, but he has planned the journey. The other one said, "Oh, I'll win. Let's just go, I'll win." When we take off, the one who says I'll win, when he begins to look at the zeal and the force and the effort the others are putting in, he will give up, because he didn't really plan, taking consideration their strengths and weaknesses. The other one knows that he can win. He's taking into consideration the strengths but not the weaknesses. So along the way, he may finish the race but not winning. But the one who has actually prepared, taking into consideration the strength and weaknesses of all the others, and has psyched himself to go to the end, has a competitive advantage over the others. So entrepreneurship is about preparedness. Preparedness, taking into consideration the ups and downs, opportunities and threats and everything. And when you hit, you don't look back. You go till it succeeds.
Okay. So before you take off, let's say as a university graduate or still living in university, you want to take up some new businesses or all that, you need to do a SWOT analysis of what kind of business.
What kind of business?
Which part does the market, the market aspect of it comes in? Because you need to study which kind of market, what's your target audience and all that. At what point do you start considering that?
I don't know whether you have much time, but let me just give it just a base.
Okay.
The market, a lot of business have suffered from that without doing good market analysis. Sometimes you have a congestion, you have a paperwork, it looks feasible, it looks nice, there is demand for it. But a lot of companies have struggled that process, whereby you manufacture for the market and you realize that the market is not coming as you envisage. You see, sometimes you manufacture, the market needs it, but how to penetrate is also another problem. And most companies suffer that a lot. That's a bigger problem. The market needs it, but how to penetrate the market is a serious strategy. It's a very serious strategy, because let me tell you, somebody who owns a business at Mokola, he's been buying product A, product C, product R and F. You are bringing product M. How do you tell him to accept your product M? Meanwhile, the customers have been buying product M. So it comes to a different strategy. Madam, what do you do? 1 month time, so that is another business away from the production. Your core business, now you have to now decide core business and outsource the marketing. So it becomes another strategy. Or I should recruit where I give them the task of doing the marketing, doing the outlets, making sure the product out there. So a lot of companies struggle that terrain. It's a very the whole terrain on its own we can handle another time. But a lot of companies struggle between manufacturing and takeoff, which is also a problem. But as an entrepreneur, you can't fail. Take off. Go. Hit hard. When you go and you learn, quickly be honest. In life, one thing in Ghana, in Africa, we are not good at is we are not honest to ourselves. Be honest to yourself.
I was gonna get into that. Yesterday I saw a post from Leila Jansi, one of the biggest directors here in Ghana. She also directs outside into movies.
Yeah.
You can do a check on her yesterday. So she posted something yesterday that I read. Very lengthy thing. Essentially what she's trying to talk about the fact that having people with you is the biggest challenge that she's having.
That's it.
And to the extent that somebody being said that she should ask the Lebanese, the Chinese, and she mentioned another race that are in Ghana, the Indians.
The Indians.
And ask them how it is to leave their jobs here in Ghana for people to manage for them. It's so difficult. She even cited Amara Bese also being one of the, asking her how she's able to manage being out there and leaving her businesses in Ghana for somebody to manage. For somebody to even manage it, because human resource in Ghana is becoming very difficult. This is from the backdrop that even this big man, Majan Shipping, the owner, has also written a very long missive at a point that he posted on social media, I think LinkedIn, that I read some time ago. But the same issue, how a lot of people have even stole his money. He believed in certain people, gave them the job to do. They came begging with a cap in hand and he gave them jobs. And at the end of the day, they messed him up big time, losing huge amount of money. How do you even scout for a potential person that you think this guy can do the job for me, so let him come and help me do the job?
You see, that's a difficult question. It's a very difficult question, but I would say that don't look at the papers. If you want somebody to truly work for you and be honest to you, forget about the degree, forget about the masters. Look at somebody who is ready to follow you and to learn from you.
They all come with the assumption that they can work. That somebody can write that objective of his CV is that they can work under pressure.
That's the real reason why people are rolling family into business. That's the main reason why.
People are
rolling family into business. You go to a business, you realize that his brother is the HR, his sister's husband is the procurement manager, the accountant is his nephew. So they build that wall to protect themselves.
But I bet you some families can equally turn things upside
down. That happens. That happens. But when it happens, it's a family issue. It is very, very hurting when a strange person picks your phone away. But when you realize that your boyfriend's brother took your phone away, sometimes you take it easy. Oh, after all, it goes home. But knowing that the money is going outside, it's quite hurting. The Lebanese,
I think sometimes it's a reverse rather. When somebody out there take it, you feel like, okay, you can put him back. You trust so much.
But you
realize that in a society, that is fact. When an odd person steals your thing, but in the industry, they don't want a strange person to steal it. They want in-house person to steal it.
Well,
in the industry, with the Lebanese, I don't want to go into that. The Chinese, it's a serious issue. They are really, 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 really treating our people so bad. What they do
recently in Rwanda, Kagame had to sack about 18 of them.
Yes. What they do is they come, they put our people on cheap labor, on contract, renewable every 3 months. They make them stand for all the hours. They bring their Lebanese friends, they give them accommodation, give them car, dependency allowance, and all those allowances, and make them feel good, so that they can supervise we. And I know that kind of training, but when you observe, I'm a student of observation. When you observe the way they treat and talk to us, you realize that they do give them a lot of bad mentorship, bad orientation about us. Because they don't treat us well. But I think that as a people, we should also help ourselves. We should take responsibility. That's what we should do. We should take responsibility. Leadership is about responsibility. No matter where you are, whether you're a sweeper, a cleaner, or whoever you are, be responsible and stand up to it. You come to the office in the morning, the washroom is in a mess. You cleaned it yesterday before. When asked, Kwejo, what happened? He said, Madam, I take full responsibility. That's my office. I take full responsibility. But today it is in a mess. So, Madam, I think that because I take full responsibility, either I do that, you take somebody in addition to that, or you have a solution. You should own it and bring the solution, but don't withdraw from. Don't take yourself. Don't exonerate yourself from the problem and begin to offer solution. That is not good. When you do that to me, I won't take you serious, because you said you're not part of the problem. So why are you giving solution?
I still want to hammer on that a little bit more. Is it that Ghanaians, when it comes to teaching of how to help build a brand, it's lacking, whether in terms of our education or our family orientation and all that? Because the number of people who are complaining about employing people to work for them and the kind of things they do to them, aftermath, stealing. I mean, they cited the Jansi story. This lady, very popular woman, Afro. I don't know if you remember Afro, the lady who handled it. Confidence.
Confidence, yeah.
So she hires a manager, a barman, who is supposed to be selling the product. And the guy decides to bring his own drinks, sells them. And when he's quizzed about, how come business is not going? Oh, madam, people are not buying. I mean, while he's selling his, stocking the woman's own in the store. So is it because it's becoming too many often that I've heard too many stories about people that you employ for them to help you build your business, and at the end of the day, they let you down completely? Just this morning on LinkedIn, I cited another story somebody has written. He's started his own business. He was helping some even orphans and family members, and as we speak, he's lost virtually everything. He's even attempting to commit suicide if he doesn't get a job to do. How does such a person start again and possibly even ask people to come and help him build a business?
I think you are so good. I was talking about that, and then I got carried away by that, but you brought me back. That's excellent. Let me go back to it. We train people to fill in jobs without giving them ethics and morals. If you observe ACCA, PMP, medical profession, every standardized profession worldwide has an ethics. And the ethics is much more important to the association than even what you have learned in school, because the ethics actually guide you through all the principles. In fact, most of the things you are learning may not be on the field, but the ethics are on the field. Our education system is a problem, and I think that we have to be honest to ourselves and without being honest to ourselves, we won't make progress. We have to be honest to ourselves. The system has failed. So what are we supposed to do? We need to prioritize ethics. Standards should be prioritized. Because when that is prioritized, when you go into any field, you know that the ethics demand that I do this. Without that, shame. Shaming is part. So when you are shamed, when your name is mentioned as that, oh, you stole your boss's this, you did this. In the value chain, let me just chip this in. Yesterday, I was somewhere and someone told me that, are you aware that the GFA, the Ghana Referee Association, I don't know how it is true, but it says that some of the referees who were involved in the announced expose can come back. Then I said, are you sure? He said, yes. I said, no. If FIFA is to be taken serious, then they cannot manage any FIFA accreditation football, but they can manage the GFA accreditation football. Leagues. That is how it is. So when the standard is prioritized, that because you have what you have done has affected the standard, nobody in the industry would employ you. The people begin to take it serious, because I may be a chartered accountant, I may be out of business from company A, but company C will employ me. But when it is in the system that, look, this guy has done this and this and this, nobody will employ you. I think that we should take give much more attention to standards. That is why some people will say that I prefer bringing forth a child, developing the child with great moral standard, than sending him to school.
So who exactly can start a business? Because I believe not everybody has the tendency to. Some who actually, or some do have the skill to work with other people, contribute. Not everybody can be a leader. So
Yes,
what attributes should I possess? What qualities should I exhibit to be able to tell myself that, okay, I'm a good candidate to start a business?
You see, you mentioned confidence issue.
Yeah.
The most important thing about it is monitoring and control. There's not just starting. That's why most people on the ground. On the ground, it's not enough not to come to work and then you've established a supermarket and all you do is you be on every hour whilst the CCTV cameras are on. You're not observing. As a business owner, as a leader, you do two things. You have two responsibility. One takes 70%, the other takes 30%. The first one is communication. 70% of successful businesses, the leader must communicate the vision, the mission, the goal, long, short term, daily target, weekly target. Communicate. You must be on and communicate what is happening, what we need to do. Yesterday when I came, we did this. We realized that the boy there, the way he dressed wasn't good, so change the dressing. And I realized he's too short for the front desk. Please change him. That is communication. You must communicate, explain the reasons behind. Otherwise, somebody would think that because you like Iffy, you push Iffy forward.
People also, managers also saying that it's not everything that is supposed to be communicated to the ordinary staff.
But please communicate.
They decide to take
It is true. It's not
strategic
everything.
management
It's not.
decisions.
You need to know who, where, how to talk to, who to talk to, when to talk to. You need to manage communication. But there are some basic communication you should push it on. As a leader, you should know who to talk to, what to tell the manager. Manager, I've realized that the boys there are playing so that they will not be talking among themselves. That is managerial communication. Then say, Efe, I've also realized now the two of you, could you go back? Every 1 hour you change. You didn't tell him the right message, but you gave him what he needs to hear. So you should know how to manage communication. And communication, it's important. In PMP, it's 90%. But entrepreneurship is 70%. Now, 70% is monitoring and control. The monitoring and control...
You mean 30% rather?
30% is monitoring and control. You must monitor whatever you have planned to do and follow through with monitoring, whether it is happening the way you set and plan to go through. If it is not going that way, be honest to yourself. Honesty comes in. Be honest and say, no, this thing, we're not beans no boy, so let us reduce it. But the company are complaining because when I fetched 5 CDs beans to somebody yesterday, she was like, Davy, 5 CDs. So you guys that no. When the customer was leaving, I said she's not happy. Customer satisfaction, I have failed. You should be honest to yourself and say, okay, madam, she said, rice has gone up. That is why we know you two are suffering. We are suffering. So please bear with us. Communication. You've combined monitoring and control with communication.
So answering her question, you mean before you said she was asking if anybody at all can get up and be an entrepreneur, start a business. So you should have those.
She asked 2 questions about. She posed 2 questions about. First of all, about who is supposed to be a leader. And then start a business. What skills are they supposed to have? So that is it. But for being an entrepreneur, everybody can be an entrepreneur. Everybody, as I said, entrepreneur does not mean that you yourself being at the front. There are a lot of entrepreneurship businesses going on here. If you watch the value chain in Ghana, I don't want to mention, and I will not mention any name. There are some people who owns more than I know a man. Okay, let me just mention 10 people. I know 10. I will not mention their name. I know 10 people combined. Each of them has 44 companies. Each of them. Each of them has 44 companies, and not behind companies. Those companies are at the front in every industry in Ghana. Talk of what's the name? If I mention, you get it. Talk of medical. Talk of manufacturing. Talk of insurance. Talk of even television. Ownership of TV. Talk of radio. Talk of what's the name? Transport. Just mention
banking and finance.
They are there. So you notice that those people, they are only there. No, they are everywhere. And you ask them what do? They say they sleep and wake up. They don't do anything. So it depends on level of involvement, level of money. Some your money can do the work for you. Some you can do the work. Some You can employ somebody to do that work whilst you yourself work in the industry, knowing very well that that is where personality traits, sanguine, melancholy, and all that comes in. I am so much reserved. I have so much empathy that I can't sack somebody. I can't be harsh. So what do? Kwejo, you are the manager. I am in charge of operations, or I am in charge of HR. I can't do HR because I'm to this. So let me do maybe warehouse. 10, I'm there.
Okay.
And
does it mean you take into cognizance of the personality traits when you're people also?
Very well. You see,
so also in an interview session, you're coming for a job. I'm supposed to determine.
I won't ask you.
You're answering.
I won't ask you. As a good, I should be able to determine by posing questions. When I have doubt, when I want to know, if I want to really know who you are, I'll pose the question.
Okay.
And when I pose the question and it's not clear,
give me an example, please. Let's be practical.
Describe yourself.
Oh, okay. That question.
Describe yourself.
Okay. Okay.
You notice that a sanguine will go all out and will not be finishing. A melancholic will take it easy and say, oh. She will even find it difficult to start from. Say,
why is it pointing me and saying she?
So she'll say, I am this, and you will be hearing a lot of in their speech. But the sanguine will go.
Okay.
You see, and sometimes some skills are acquired. Somebody may not be a talkative, but when he meets people, he's able to express himself. So when you add a lead question, very discerning enough to ask follow up, to really understand what you want, or really get what you want from the interviewer in the interview. So I don't know.
What point does the GRA, the Registrar General conversation comes in when you're starting a business?
Actually, they'll tell you that initiation. Yes, it's an initiation. It's one of the requirements you have to do. You write it down, you do it, but you put a time on it. You see, in that. So I wanted the time. So you put a time on it, because if you want to waste much time, it would hold you hostage. But at a point in time, it becomes inevitable, because when the business is growing, you meet somebody who says, "Oh," because you can't work with any company, any serious company, if you don't have GRA, because you have to give us vast receipts. You don't have GRA, so go and register. So at that point, you can't avoid it. You have to do it. But yourself, following the standard, you should do it yourself, so that at the end of the day, the law will not catch up on you. You see, we need to talk about starting a business critically, because most people think that starting a business, you have to get a big warehouse, you have to get a big shop. I think if we have time, we can talk about how to start without money, how to start a business without money. Because indeed, yesterday I was having a lecture somewhere, and I told them that, look, there is one most important thing that is more valuable than money. And the fellow asked me, what is that? What is that? I said, trust. And trust is more valuable than money. He said, what does it mean? I said, okay, do you know that with trust, do you know that with trust, I can go to, which industry should I use? Fashion. I can go to like, probably I've worked under you for a longer time, so all the people in the industry knows me and knows how honest I am. I can come to you and say, madam, I need 2 years of satin. Can you give it to me? I'll give it to you. I'll pay you back. I'm sewing some dress. As soon as I'm finished, I'll come and pay you. You said, okay, 2 years. They'll give you the 2 years. You think that 2 years is nothing. It's building. Trust is built. So we are building trust. They'll give you the 2 years. You go to Auntie, I'm finished sewing, but I want to do knitting. My customer will come in 2 hours. So as soon as he comes for the clothes, I'll give you your money. So you realize that you've gone from satin seller, beans, what's the name? Knitting, beads and everything without paying. As soon as your customer brings the money, you go and say, Auntie, you said you bring it tomorrow, you brought it. Okay. The next time you go and say, Auntie, I need 10 years. You say, this girl, she'll give you. Auntie, let me give you 20. Let me give you 20 years so that bring it at the end of the month.
Sometimes we do this, but our customer also delays in bringing. So it's like you become the bad person in the eyes.
Communication.
The flow is a lie.
70%.
Communication. Communication. Well, Auntie, I'll come at 1. The customer hasn't come. She's not in. And the goose is still here. This is the thing. this is isn't it the thing? I say, oh, okay, oh, me Jibudi, but just say she complain. But when he sees that you see, you have to do a lot of work to earn trust. Carry don't even mind. You gave it 2 o'clock, right? It's 2:15. Carry the cloth you have sewn. Go to her and say, Auntie, oh, but don't worry. I'm not expecting you to come with the cloth. Just. But if you had not done that, she will say, oh, and I didn't know. You see? So as soon as I'll bring it. Even before you know, you're a young lady. Some of your boyfriend, somebody might have given you some 50 Ghana cedi. Instead of going to use that money for what you intended for, go and pay Auntie and tell Auntie on Beji you some money. So take this. And say, oh, really? Oh, you're not supposed to worry. You say, oh, no, Auntie, no. For my image, I think that you have been fair to me. You have helped me. So I think that we should do this. Auntie, I'll say, I can't cry.
Okay. I have a very last question to ask you because of time.
But before the question comes, let me also say this.
Okay.
That trust is trust. Trust is a great capital that I want the youth out there to take it serious. Don't let go of trust. Good.
Okay. You keep saying starting. Do I have to start afresh my own thing? Or sometimes in starting a business, I can buy off someone's already established business that is more like collapsing and then manage it? Do I always have to start my own thing all by myself afresh? Or I can buy off a different business?
Okay, good. It's just like when I asked you to tell me about yourself. It's not always born in 1981. I was born by this mother. You can see that you can start from here and go back. So in entrepreneurship, you can start from fresh. You can also buy someone's own.
Okay.
But when buying someone's own, really understand why the fellow is selling it off. Because we are in Ghana, somebody is selling a good shop. If you go and buy, before you realize the land the shop is on, there is litigation.
I'm doing some and those things are.
And the fellow is selling where the property is the reason why it is, in property will tell you that location is everything in property. So the fellow is making it because of location. And he has an analysis that when I move away from this location, I wouldn't make it, so I'm selling it. You think that he's making it and this is a good brand, he's saying you go and buy it, and you'll be part of the failure stories. So please, before you buy somebody's company, please, what you should even do is that buy somebody from within. That's the first thing you should do. Don't buy the company. Buy someone from within to give you all the trade secrets before you totally acquire the business. You want to buy the business? Come
to me. I'm studying brand analytics. So
I don't think someone actually wants to sell the business if it's lucrative.
Okay, so unfortunately our time is up. We want to appreciate you for coming. Hopefully we'll have another time to have the conversation about starting a business without money. And I'm sure we would also have a lot of conversations around that. Thank you very much for coming through. So we had James Ike Bedema. He happens to be a very big man, if I mean a big man. He's a big man. He does a lot of things. He's a communication development so master's person. He works with Globe Productions as well. He's a partner there. Are you doing any new things very soon?
We have a lot of things on the table. I wouldn't waste the time. We have Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah is big. It's a global thing. Okay. And it's coming.
Oh, how soon?
Yeah, Kwame Nkrumah.
How soon?
But it's in the book. Yeah, very soon.
All right. So is the man joining us for the conversation about starting a business, and I'm sure you learned a lot of things today. Hopefully, in the continuation of this series about starting a business, you'll be coming through more often for us to have a conversation and discussion that we're talking about. So we take a quick turn at this moment. When we come back, JK will be seated with our guests for today. Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back.
All right, so it's still on right here on Hstv. It happens to be the Wednesday edition of Healthy Morning. And JK, when I'm seated, you know we're going straight into the world of entertainment. But quickly, I just want to remind Ghanaians going out there, those on the Arise demonstration, please, guys, be very safe wherever you are, because you know the casualties and people, you know, being hurt here and there, it's really not a good thing. So if you're going out there on the demonstration, please be on the watch so that nothing bad happens to you. So quickly, we have a gentleman who is doing so well when it comes to music right here in Ghana. You know, we've seen his video all over social media. He's trending, and Charlie, the pressure the guy they bring into the industry, you know, we're ready to see how he got into music, his journey and everything. He's in the person of Ohineba. Bema, it's a saying. Hey, Charlie, a good day, Cheney and daddy, just end up from crowd.
Be very fine.
Be very fine. Nice one. It's Ohineba. That's the brand name, right?
Yes, please.
And I say because of music in Tina, you brought that name.
Okay, but then na me shada new soon sir. Music in Tina na shada.
Was that a brand in Amazon?
So I'm a brand.
Ohineba. Just it's can be a good deal here. They did it. Also, you just go on my.
Street in the soon.
Sure. Let's go into your life. How did music start for you? At what point now you decided to go into music?
Alright, so me shasiye or primary time.
Okay.
Me a Muslim, so me call Arabic school kakra. And here hono na me singing, me lead singer. The as at that time near boy live band. You will be a friend of my lead. And no Arabic school say oh area hono. The share. I say cultural display. Yes, it's you know a boy live band na you display you display the talent. And you know me school na me na me lead singer.
Wow.
Or at a point in time. Until somewhere 2008, 2009, and my boys in the bar, that was Sarkodie, Apono, the Dew Punk and the likes. That was when the chassis said, though I started as a singer, but the chassis me give up from that point. Imitate your money, imitate your 2011, and I'm a chassis.
Nice one.
Sure.
So you mentioned say you're a Muslim.
Yes, please.
Now when you say about religion now, so you know say cinema be around pepe near what's all your near one or two be one final challenges be with family time also pursue your music no.
Okay, so I don't know Mayor Santini.
Okay.
Yes, Mayor Santini, Asante Muslim. I don't know that of the Northerners and the other tribes, but really Asantis, like I say, your parents, you know, me cool with those stuffs.
Music.
And besides, you know, me, and no one me, you know, utie me no ma, and you be like a me, you know, my motivational songs. No more beat, you know, said the person, if the person is down in spirit, it may motivating, ginger the person to stand up on his or her feet. Good. Yes, so I think with that, no cry, no, I'm they are even proud of me parents. And my support and no one they are proud of me because me omutie me no ma and enye omokra tie me no ma enkofo ne kodi dance e cho ya tete ne nwum bi o e good pa you know how the problem be and they are in support.
They are in support of it. So Intia, the reason why I asked that and say when they are facing this challenge about they are restricted to certain things, and you having the support I think is quite amazing. Quickly into Yembra Ghana music industry, this is where you find yourself. You've told us from primary you being a lead singer near the Waba big scene, we've come into the bigger picture. Say now like or Ghana music industry.
Industry, you know, make us say I blank akra. The industry is scary, yes. Yes, but then I say with determination and I be on the timer or the bar. You can be good with your talent and all that, but with time also,
forget it.
Yes, because your chance minimum cophobia or mobile chance and saying a far more into sanity industry, you know. Me who say you need the right pattern. Really, okay, say me fast one me ko hit it. Anka sebi nkofo bi kura me beto mom da so mom hit it nkoma hit it jam. Yes, me can say sometimes when preparation meets opportunity, you are there.
Yeah, there.
And sometimes if you also hype bi ni ade bi behia na afam will be. Yes, until when they say a quite be brain and ultimate fast hit. Yes, until you just have to stay true, like stay original to yourself, stay true to yourself. The whole year, make sure say oh you good music. Yes, because anyone what I've seen so far, and say anyone there 3 umbrellas and anyone falling under. We have trash, we have good music, and then we have hit.
We have trash, yes. We have good music, and we have hits.
You have hits. Until now, you work as much as possible. Say when you move fully under the trash, because obi beko trash man no kofa you want be tiasere and the beka. Yes, but when you do good music is always good music.
Good.
Yes, but when good music, you necessarily say, oh yeah, good music, but they hit it. When it hits, you are there. But then, if it's good music, if you continue to keep that same energy, one day, you know, like Bakufa, Nina Besaba, Bakama, yes, it be work for you. So,
but also say like, you know, anytime you want your music to go out there, you do things to trend. So what else? It's maybe more and you know did this but I know na it's a Ghana phone so pay.
Yes. Okay. So obiane how industry you know say obiane how woman we see who normal. Obi wo ha anyum no oye for the friends. Obi wo ha ebia ebusuafo no e support omahu say ebia otie nyum. Nti ne dwunwum ho nti wo se chenchen na oye nyum na oye ama family. Yes. And will be also. You mean, can say will be the target, will be an baby of the sure. And if say who ni baby of the do, and then your targeted audience are like no to me influence the kind of music I was always.
Oh yeah, yes. Nice one. Into your here, you are in the music scene. What changes? I would say we have trash song, we have hit song, and we have the good music. Into what is here we're realm. What are you bringing on the table?
On anybody, I always represent. Yes, and me kind of say me free street in the Sunday, so meaning the old street the people are going through. And you have many mommy is about life, normal coso, and I'm a bushing because I know say when you are doing something and then you put yourself into it, I am quite relatable. Yes, and you know, many mommy either my bushing myself or what I see on the street.
What you see on the street.
Yes,
but since I say na then I call no musician be over be I say I'm from the street. I'm from the street, and I say now banner streets. No, like what is on the street? We just want to have a fair idea. What have you been through? Inspired you to do what you're doing now?
And now we be say we free street in the Sunday, but some now walk on. I'm passing free street in the Sunday, what you say? Yeah. Because I know most of the bees are almost on free street in the Sunday, but more kind of but.
Clan
a common doa, and no now we need different. Oh, get me, yes. And you know, who street in the soa, a common doa, a real show. Whom ko 4 copies in. What I say? Because me free street in Zamatenko 4 canteen and make I have been on the street since 2014. That was after senior high. Yes. Practice. Practice. No say be a Oko street in the soa. Unkitasika. I would go for no ma beton. We need capital. Men can say. Inti ukwa no man obi die na akwa akwaje na wo de abegide yes ti wo de begina ma utwa na wo yi akire na wo de ne de akoma no ene free ne trates no obi wo kra wo ni store nti na dam fu bi wo shop no age pictures no ana akwaje no mo ne bi no de nam ti wo ton a na wo yi akire na wo de ne de akoma no ene free ne trates nti me wo street ne so nti no say me na mama nyoma me nyina no make us say I represent the street. Yes, they call me the voice of the street.
The voice of the street. Sure. So it's the same way I get in down. It do be now you guys get to a certain level. It seems you forget everything that is happening because you artists be brave on my bar and I'm from the street, I'm from the ASA, they get the support, they get a fan base, and now when they are being approached it becomes quite difficult. Let's talk about artist attitude. You come musicians or more Ghana musuba or muwum you know, sometimes throwing people off mobile media platform, you know, the way things are. Like, what's your take on what do you think about that issue?
Okay, so because in such a once Obiani how I was doing it, and Obiani how I answer mechanic say Obiani fear to the free. What I say yes, Obi or her yet it's in such a way say who's in your crack opinions, who say, and I will cry a ding. Until no copings my own found cry. Until I say yes, but some of us, you know, pains in their form until we come until we try as much as possible. Say every year, Macron, but he be drew baby and son, they didn't call them. Sure. Said the way your mama breast said the brain. I hope you get me. You know, Obian how me can say Obian how is Obian in the team or any man. Because sometimes the team now also can influence your brand. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, and the brand you choose for yourself. Because since a brand in the brand is the product you are selling.
You're selling out.
Yes, and the branding is how unique your product is. And so team on say, okay, let's go for this. And then you do the pama. You say. So sometimes they teach you all those things.
Yes. Sure.
And you know, we team on to be me influence. And it depends because I know most of the artists that irrespective of more maybe on do they are still down to
working with management.
And you know, be an how
but what has now you've spoken about brand, you've spoken about management. Nimsoba, you brought in a lot of entourage. You have a lot of people supporting you. Let's talk about artist management and also that question. Debate on social media, when you in your ceremony management, what do you think is actually the problem?
Well, I don't know. I've not encountered such problem before, so I wouldn't know into much details what exactly the problem is. No, for that one, let us leave it to for the men because I'm gonna.
But you say you are in the game.
Yes, I'm in the game, and I think I'm okay with
your management. Yes. Also said they are almost everything right for you.
Everything is right.
Everything is solid. Yes. Quickly now. If that's the song. Sure. I saw Kweku Darlington on it. Why Kweku Darlington on that song?
Okay, so I say it's depending on where you get the inspiration from. So person feature artist be a uti artist in the so ultimate yen artist ultimate anyum be so anyum we die any passing we see na me na to so a
befa. Yeah.
So you know be me try we you know you find some recording me part you know the right person at Barbie team Kweku Darlington. Yes, Kweku Darlington has been my brother since day one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm on Tikaka. Anna, na mesa when say onona since I am a brother, me call anymore big team soon. Because most of the artists, you know, who approach you for feature na and I know how fast I'm a person, and I'm the first one, I'm the first, and you are the best
person for the song.
Matisa
Okasa, it be more when you need them, you quite struggle. Either you've approached quite turned you down.
Oh, I think so many of them, but and they are normal. You understand? Obi or high, no now they want to feel very well. Obi also or share of followers you have. And you encourage them. Who say what project no more can make them. The person wouldn't bother.
They wouldn't bother to do. Okay, so I don't know if Enyumne already. I mean, produce and person you see some bits be here, but now you're better to us. Healthy morning. We are doing healthy-tainment right here. My soldiers are right. So I have Steph and Diego joining me. We have in the studios today Oheneba, who is doing so well when it comes to Ghanaian music. I like, you know, the originality of the whole thing. You being very realistic about yourself from the streets, Charlie, the hustle and everything.
Is it your first big tractors?
They are they. Tractors. You know, he's giving us vibe because he made mention we have trash music, those who do good music and hits.
Yeah.
But
being on the street, you know, how has it helped you with your music?
Yeah.
And as much as we know you would hear trusses and in your money, how has it really helped the music? You know?
I think it's not boy member choosing a brand. the kind of animal person me.
You was street you know also die so by you. And I say
me know the name the dance and I'm street so.
Oh, okay.
But then not everyone's me rap no more. But about street so the kind of you know me for me dey me hu here. Me name no my street so na influence me as a Sam brand na me dream says here na na eboa me I want to do as here.
Now Usan Kabibi say industry na say very scary. And then now we who you have that perception.
Easy so be room sir.
But say we room and now when you easy.
And easy because 2011 year been
2022.
Yes. So
it's been quite a journey.
Yes, yeah.
Nice one.
11 years.
Sure.
So now when you say very scary.
Yes, and easy.
And easy. Me per se, me freestyle be what show no so because you're saying you're doing rap and I like the flow and everything. How was it? I hope I'm using the right word. Sure.
Okay. So I rap and I mean sing it.
Yeah, be the rap. It would say, you be comfortable.
So I don't mind as well.
Okay. Okay. So in every asim sikani hu a wasemusa na so ho kire wa ho na obi hu odofo no ma omo pa ben dada ne di ebomu no a ho na mpese ewu so gu nanum na obu okotokwase anyangopo wo hu ma hyase ye din so obi ayi nani se me hete oba me fie pono no matum unim se me yade wo mo afọbo me ntwe ma me dun kasa wo ne me na hyase enkampo ma me ntem ma me se ma da jo reply ma me fancy nja omo yase woni mu nyansa ususu ye kwa ketwa ne de kan obeye nti ebusu ahie atwen ma ne bansa na se wo kasa no bi atwa nani fichiu no obi ayi nani ato babi fo ne kape so the break ani yuti mu miedi na chi enya se de wo kan no nyansa nim si agitumu a mo abe na wo de beboa aje ono de oboa ne ho abo ne kashiri ti ka bi asifie ho no na beso na nye sikasem.
He's a victim.
Yeah.
That's a very deep.
And all that he's saying also
I can relate.
It's corresponding with the street thing that he's talking about.
Amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing.
I think he should continue with the rap. Rap need a pay. Cause do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay, so I blend them together. That is why the new song after singing rap.
Because the energy in there with the
how so tell me what kind of song now we are.
The person tell me no. Make us say I don't know. For now, I've not thought about that.
Okay. Okay.
I've not thought about that.
Okay. All right. But it's a new era kind of music now.
Yes, sure.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So what is the project? See, a project anyway. Are you looking to do an album and as a EPB in the coming days as a?
Okay, for now, I've not thought about album and as a EP. But then no come I can use and then me never can say because I may drop the album, I make him drop it.
Oh
yes, your boy hope.
Just say ego. Yes, to say my second one. I know there's another one you have there. Is it?
Yes, the song I released before this project.
Okay. Yes. Can we have a feel of that?
Say about the streets here. Like it goes like, if we are sima you ubi anguwa woniu anka me papa ne da nguta anka se benzi bia metim life na chance na do or die inti me yakosi se medi nkunim na so aboa sika di ania me susu ya ka yitrim ba bia me free me name niggas da bia you street ya so da cooperative we go eat and no pot no do for we know the sleep here leaders are living in peace accommodate ya man no the see your stomach ya flat be like a shit Ghana we dey not be here for free enti me sorry anopa na sa meti ala ho akuba me kai se bi be pia kobra me sugu me yam ti sa abofra ya bedra kra ye ni obia oho ni akesi ensu yehu babia enti ye be koku masea ye be kosu nyane ya yenhia na ba de be chi na ye dwane konti ye be koku masea
yenhia hwan
yenhia na ba
ne wan
okay, so Nanaba because once Emrebi Samokai ya support to no to gospel na obodum bi e friend wo how ne sen nti to Emrebi obi bisa say wo how ne sen also ya support ne sen
okay
it's Nanaba na e boafo.
Oh wow.
Yes, once Nanaba we know her for humanitarian works
and all that.
Until Nanaba as in boafo na be nim se be share boafo da be ne be share na number
so nim say ne din ka unyum onim
Yes, we contacted her, but wasn't that.
And how was the reception?
Media maker said wasn't as expected. So the no one did the count yes. But it's funny, sir. Yes, it was only right for her to do that. It wasn't compulsory.
Nice. But me sure say nana ba bi wo ho. And then any chile be kan wa say. O she we do it. It's he for na be nya onyom then I'll be catch wash for etifo nyina. What are you going to tell them?
Me nyom dey all the guitar stores.
Okay.
All the guitar stores. Obi a ohwe me and I will team na your first time. Na will team. Yeah, so Heneba is from the street. So follow me for the street. Follow some sequence. Yes, my updates number 1, updates number 2, updates number 3. And if you get time to follow me, you get all the updates from the street.
Nice one.
Headlines.
We are really humbled having you on the show. It's been amazing, really fun. Your energy and everything. We're here to support you and to keep doing what you're doing. Remember, be and can be and share you lose courage. Thanks again.
But you don't neglect the street wide.
Yeah.
Okay, so also you how there I say akoro be wudi ne ko share yesu ye nkoro be. You know, and one of them.
Hstv.